Was there anything, advice that you received about the business that really stands out?
One thing I'll say that a lot of comics don't do, and I see it every day, and I go, if you just change that, you'll be better, but you won't change it because you're stubborn and you're an egomaniac. And look, I'm guilty as well, but you gotta self-critique. What's up with these comics who get off stage and they go, all right, that went well, let's get a drink. And I'm like, you should be cutting your wrist right now, you bombed so bad. What are you, crazy? You got to go home and think about that. Like, that was so horrific. And then look, like the guy on after you or the girl on after you is murdering and you just die. That crowd is hot and you die. You don't even know it. Come on, self-critique. Or how about these guys or gals who do a show and they'll be doing great and one joke bombs. And I'm like, oh yeah, that one joke bomb. And they're like, I'm keeping it. And they do it every show. And I'm like, that joke is dying. Why do you keep it? Or why not change it? Or whatever. And I guess it's like a delusional thing. Like, hey, it's me, I'm great, fuck it. You know, I don't know what that is, but you gotta be aware of what's happening on stage when you're on stage. Like, you can't be biased to your own act or your own opinions. Like, if you suck, you suck, and you have to accept that, and you're not gonna get better until you accept it. So everybody thinks, I'm great, I'm great. You're not great. Go get great. Let us tell you you're great. Who cares what you think? We got to tell you. That's all. That's just a problem in society, I think. No one's internalizing anything. They're just like, everything sucks. That sucks. You suck. I'm great. Fuck you. You suck. You get better. And ironically, society will get better when you get better. Aha.
Do you have other pet peeves that you see newer comedians or performers doing, or mistakes you see them making?
Oh, I got a million pet peeves. I'm a cunt. I'm a douche. So I hate, there's too many likes. Every comic says like. It's like they put a like in where they don't need to. So I was out at like a bar with my friends. No, you're out at a bar. Why are you saying like a bar? You were at a bar. I mean, was it different than a bar? Because now you're ruining the word like. The word like is very useful. You know, you could say, and I was like, fuck you. Or you can be like, that's like a chair. A table's like a whatever, you know? So like is important and it's useful, but you're saying it 800 times. So now I get pissed and I can't not hear you saying like. So that's a weird pet peeve. Too many words in a setup that are unnecessary. I'm like, that setup could be cut in half. So that's a weird thing. Boy, me and my friend always talk about how everybody's punchline now is a name, you know? It'll be like, whatever, Greg. And Greg is the laugh line. I'm like, that's not even a joke. You just said the guy's name funny or wacky, you know? So that's a weird pet peeve. But I have more, but I can't think of them. I got a million. If I put on a special right now, I can go that, I hate that, I hate that, I hate that. But again, I'm a douche.
Like Karen, right? It's
well, Karen at least is like a thing now.
Right.
See, I just did it. It's a thing. It's not like a thing, it's a thing. Karen's a thing now, so that I get, but when they just go, whatever, Caleb. All right. Oh, here's another one I hate. This is big in the hipster world. The cowardice when they have their like a corny joke and they go, plant. Is there a plant in the audience? Right? Ficus. You get it? Because it's a plant. But they say the joke jokingly because they're not proud of it. I'm like, hey, you wrote the joke. Stand behind it, you coward. You're trying to play it off like, oh, that was corny and I'm aware of it. Yeah, but you still wrote it, you chooch. Own the fact that you wrote a corny joke and say it with pride. Don't act like you're above it. You wrote the fucking thing.
A lot of people do that with any joke because of the lack of confidence. And I see that a lot. There's also the thing where they go, oh, that's a new joke. I'm not going to do that one again. And they pretend to scratch it off.
or that was for me.
Yeah,
well, then go perform alone then. Because the audience is here, paid to see you. Oh, how about this one? This is like a cool guy move. They get on stage, they go, oh, shit, what do I want to talk about? What's going on? Shut the fuck up. You knew this was happening 10 hours ago. Don't act like we put you in a burlap sack, threw you in a trunk of a car, and put you on stage and threw some water in your face. Oh, shit, what's going on? What's going on? One of my friends, he's like a big pothead. Everything, he's like, oh, I'm so high. What do I want to talk about? I'm like, what do you mean, what do you want to talk about? You have an act. You got a back pocket full of jokes. Do the jokes. But I get it. It's a shtick and it's a cool look or whatever. But that one just annoys me.
What do you guys want to talk about?
Yeah.
Can you describe your on-stage comedic character and maybe how different that is from Mark Norman off stage?
Oh, wow. That's a good question. I think, you know, this the cunt about finding your own voice is it's right there the whole time. And it's so hard to find, but it's just an exaggerated, less boring version of you, you know? People say, I'm exactly the same guy. No, you're not. You have to have a little anger in one of the bits. You have to have a little surprise in one of the bits. You're not the same guy. You're a little puffed up, you know? And I had a guy say to me once, I was opening for this guy, John Fish, hilarious comic, still doing it. And I said, I don't know my voice. We had like a 5-hour car ride from some hell gig. I was like, I don't know what to do. I can't figure out who I am. And he goes, here's an idea. Take like 4 of your favorite jokes, the jokes that really sit well and resonate and you're proud of. And he's like, study those jokes. Why did you write them? What do these jokes have in common? And that's probably your voice. And I did that, and he was completely right. And it gave me a lot of insight on who I was and why I was writing certain things. But I think just finding that voice it's like I always say Michael Jordan, not comparing myself to Michael Jordan, but when he's playing basketball and he goes to dunk, his tongue is out. He didn't decide to put his tongue out. That's just who he is. And that's the same with your comedy. It's just who you are. So don't even think about it too much. Just do what you do because it's in there.
There's no exchange for writing and getting on stage every day. And that's the truth.
Yeah. That's why these things always get ugly. These tutorials or whatever you want to call this, because everybody's looking for a shortcut or some advice. That's why I didn't take a class. No offense to the classes. But the only thing with comedy is just doing it over and over again, and you gotta love it. If you don't love it, what's gonna push you to keep trying it and keep working it out? I got bits that it didn't work for 5 years, and then I just got it working one day. That's 5 years. Some people don't even do comedy for 5 years, and that was an 11-second joke. 5 years. Come on.
Yeah, no, I feel you. And I actually, so in our classes, not to promote classes or anything or our classes, but that's the first thing I always say is there's no exchange for writing and performing every day. I think what classes do is they should be offering you that immediate feedback so you can adapt your stuff to an audience. That's what you use it for. And then you still have to get up every night for an audience and see if that's the right application. And that way you also know how to work with your friends. And that's really what it is. It's like working off your friends. That's really what
it's like boxing. You know, like you could take a boxing class from the best boxing instructor on the planet. You know, what's that guy? Clamato? What's the guy who taught Tyson? Clamato? That's a drink. Customato, something like that. He can teach you every move, every hook, every duck, every slip, but you're going to get up there and you're going to start getting punched in the face and you're going to go, Jesus Christ, what the fuck? That's why you got to get up. You got to get on stage because it's the only way, because that joke bombed. Now you're frazzled. You're freaking out, but you got to just pretend like you're not and then go back to that bit and then pull an audible. They're liking dirty stuff. Throw the order out the window, flip the order, put the dirty stuff. I mean, that's all just doing it and reps and experience.
What's your process for developing material?
Well, geez, I mean, it's, again, a lot of trial and error. This is just all jokes. This is all pages of jokes that, I don't know, 99% of these don't work. So for me, I have an idea that I'm passionate about or just something I'm like, this is funny. I know there's something there. I got to try it. And you get excited about it. And then I try it and I listen to, you got to tape your sets, folks. I listen to it and I go, that sucked. And a lot of times when I'll say it out loud, in my mind, I go, just this coming out of my face, this is not good, I can tell. Reaction or be damned, I can already tell just from this coming out of my mouth, this is not funny. Like, you know, you shoot a basketball and right when it leaves your fingers, you're like, that's going to swish. You know, you're 20 feet away from the basketball, you can just feel it. I think that's the same with humor for me, is I can just go, that's something. Even if it bombs, I go, that's something. And look, I'm not always right, but I think for me, it's, you got to write, you got to sit down with it. I like to pace and talk it out into a hairbrush. If anybody saw me, I'd kill myself. It's very embarrassing, but I like to talk it out because it feels more natural. And then when I get on stage, it feels less written because I talked it out. So for me, it's an idea in the shower. Oh, that's funny. write it out, talk it out, then bring it on stage, have it do what it's going to do, listen, tweak, repeat.
If I'm being honest, I have zero faith in the audience. I assume audiences are all incredibly unfunny and incredibly dumb, and I spell out every joke because there's nothing worse than having a great idea and then them not getting it. So you got to make them understand it, you know? So I say it over and over a million times, and I just keep trying to simplify, and take out everything you don't need and shorten it up because I also have no faith in people's attention span. So it's just years of hammering it through like a funny filter or a simple filter. You got to drop them. Greg Giraldo said you got to kill your babies. It's hard, but I've seen comics in New York doing the same bit and it bombs every goddamn time, and they keep doing it, and it makes you look worse, and it also makes you look crazy. Like you're going, what are you trying to get out of this bit? It never has worked once. Get rid of it. But I know it's hard. We're so attached, and we took the time to write it, so it's so hard to let it go. But if you truly believe in it, I would put it aside, as I said, fall out of love with it, or become a better writer over time and then revisit it. And you can really look at it from a clear eye and go, that's what I was missing. That's it. I missed that one little angle, and that changed the whole bit. So if you really believe in it, put it in the drawer, come back in a year. You almost have to tweak those to perfection in your apartment before you can actually get a laugh at it. The joke has to be pitch perfect before it'll work because the subject matter is so edgy.
How do you get it right in your apartment alone without an audience?
Because I still bombed with it. You got to just suck it up and bomb with it and just get little bits of information from the audience every time it bombs. Like, all right, it did a little better if I say it that way. If I say it faster, it does better. Or if I just lean into it, it got a little bit better. And then over time, just with those little clues, I could get it to work 100%. But it took a lot of trial and error of just guinea pigging that bit over and over. Let me try it a little this way. Let me try it that way. Let me try that. And it took forever, but I finally got it. I asked everybody when I was starting out because I was like, what the hell is your voice? What is that? Why is everybody found theirs and I haven't found mine? And somebody told me, I forgot who, but somebody gave me the great advice is look at all your jokes that work and find the common link between all those jokes. And that's probably your voice. Why do you keep going back to these? Why is this subject matter touched on a lot? Why is this like this? Why'd you pick that material, whatever it is? And that helped me. And listening to yourself, and you go, oh, that's a joke I would tell. Or you listen to your friends, they go, that's such a Mark joke. And you're like, really? And then you go, okay, so what the hell's Mark? What the hell's that? You know, and just, it's all about clues and remembering everything. Take it all in. So for me, I figured out eventually that my shtick is, it's basically saying, if this is like that, then why isn't this like that? And that's my whole act.
Yeah. Nice.
I don't see color. Well, then I'm black. No, you're not. Aha. You know, just find inconsistencies. I mean, even David Tell, who's like the funniest guy on the planet, who's got midget jokes and jizz, he's got clean. He can write clean. He can do it. So I think it's imperative if you want to do Fallon, you want to do all these late nights, you got to have it. So it's a good way to get in the door. I'm not saying it's you. I'm not saying it's your voice or your path for forever. But I think it's good to have, and fuck it. Suck it up and try to make it work. Like, let's say you're an amazing wrestler and you want to do the MMA. You got to learn boxing. You got to box a little. So have it in your corner. You know, I'm not saying it's got to be your future career. What's the opposite of temporary?
Permanent?
Thank you. It's not your permanent world, but try it. Knock it out. And it's harder. It is harder. I will say, as a comic, I can admit clean is harder. Dirty is easier. I'm not saying dirty's bad. I'm not saying dirty's hack. But it's easier because sex will get a laugh. Cursing will get a laugh. So challenge yourself by trying to write some clean.
Yeah, and if you didn't have clean, you wouldn't be able to open for Seinfeld.
Exactly. And trust me, I had to sift through albums of stuff to find the cleanest shit that's like his level clean. And I'll tell you what, I'm glad I had it.